These are live pictures coming into you from Caracas, the capital, where we're expecting Juan Guaido, the opposition leader, to speak. Earlier, Juan Guaido has said he might consider granting amnesty to President Nicolas Maduro and his allies if they help return Venezuela to democracy. Meanwhile, the US says Maduro's on revenue and redirect money to the country's opposition leader. Well, while we wait for that, we are joined by Luke Taylor from Cúcuta, Colombia, a journalist from there, to talk about the latest situation there on Venezuela. So we are expecting both of them to speak, Juan Guaido and Nicolas Maduro. What do you expect him to say, and where does it go from here?
Good afternoon. Well, we're unsure what it is Juan Guaido will say, what declaration he will make. There aren't that many cards he can play at this moment in time. He's obviously concerned for his safety and he's going to want to keep momentum up, but he's really dependent on the military and how strong their allegiance is with the Maduro regime and whether it holds under pressure.
So we know the loyalty of the military lies with Nicolas Maduro. So how do Venezuelans feel about that?
They understand that the military is still behind Maduro. The Defense Minister Vladimir Pedrino has issued a statement when there were rumors that perhaps there would be defections from the military. But the Venezuelan people are hoping that there's still time for the military to defect as they see conditions get tougher for the Venezuelan people and that cracks may appear. But there are many incentives for the military to stay with Maduro and with the regime, as they benefit from it massively.
So we know internationally it's very divided, as countries like Turkey, Russia and China and Mexico are backing Nicolas Maduro, but then you have the US and other Latin American countries backing Juan Guaido. So what effect does that have on Venezuela?
It essentially shifts the debate from on the ground to the protesters and the Venezuelan people, from the opposition and from Maduro, and into an international dispute. So we can see how countries are lining up in terms of where they stand in either recognizing Maduro or Juan Guaido, and they largely form along existing alliances. Several countries are saying that the intervention by the US or by Western European nations which are recognizing Juan Guaido is illegitimate and internationally illegal, whereas the US and Western European nations are stating that as the elections were fraudulent from Maduro, that Juan Guaido is actually the legitimate leader of the country.
As also, the latest on this is Pompeo will travel to New York for an open meeting of the UN Security Council to recognize Juan Guaido as the president. We'll see what will happen there tomorrow. But, I mean, Trump's National Security Advisor is talking about this plan to redirect all revenue from Venezuela to Guaido. Is that possible?
It could potentially, it is a possible option, and it's one of the last cards that are under their sleeve at the moment, this moment in time. But it would potentially be very unpopular for two reasons. One, it would cause oil prices in the US to increase, as the US imports just under half of Venezuelan oil, it is, I believe. And secondly, it would be hard to target that so it only affects high-ranking officials of the regime without causing further deterioration in conditions for the Venezuelan people.
Well, thank you very much for that, Luke Taylor, there for us from on Venezuela, the latest. And as you can see in your pictures, this is Caracas, live pictures from Venezuela's capital, where we're expecting the opposition leader to speak there, Juan Guaido, who has proclaimed himself as the interim president and been recognized by the US. He has the backing of the US and several